This horse slots right in among the top 10 sires in Europe because that's where he belongs.
A son of Danehill that is very elegant, very classic looking. He has a lot of depth, a lot of length. So I think anyone that looks at him will be tempted to use him.
This is an imposing animal with a great temperament.
I think it's going to be an amazing opportunity for French breeders, even for European breeders, to be able to use a horse like this because it gives us another option.
His Highness wanted to support a very proven stallion in France and in Europe in general. And a horse that has 90 stakes winners, 21 Group 1 winners and 15 classic winners is a very impressive record. And this was the best horse to bring into France. All these statistics outperforms a lot of the very good stallions in Europe.
Redoute's Choice coming to Europe is one of the most exciting pieces of news I think we've heard for a long time. He brings from Australia an established record, a fantastic individual, a very good racehorse who's now gone on and become an even better sire. He's been able to inject speed into the pedigree, and it all comes through a fascinating amalgam of the two most successful bloodlines ever in Australia, and they are Danehill, of course, has been a worldwide influence, and also Star Kingdom, who in the 50s rewrote the record books. He was the Northern Dancer of Australian racing. His influence on the whole game was that big. The best thing about Redoute's Choice's progeny is their overall class and their brilliance. You've got to have speed in Australia to survive, and they have that all the way through. But also they have brilliance and they have class. And he's a sire who's been able to stamp his horses and stamp them so well.
Redoute's Choice throws a lot of horses with plenty of size, like himself. Big, strong, very powerful. For a European, they have a lot more muscle bulk than we would see in Europe, which I think actually will be quite useful for European mare owners. The slightly smaller, lighter boned Redoute's Choice would compensate that nicely. I think it's very difficult for us Europeans to understand and appreciate just how important that Danehill was in Australia, and then through Redoute's Choice, this is expanded even more. He gets all sorts. I mean, he gets the fast Group 1 2-year-olds who win the Golden Slippers. But there again, Miss Finland, who was a Golden Slipper winner, she also had the versatility to win over 1.5 miles. He gets great milers, he gets good colts, good fillies, 3-year-olds, 2-year-olds. The versatility is tremendous and very important for us in Europe because we can expect to produce all sorts of different types of horses.
There are certain Northern Hemisphere breeders who have used him, Sheikh Hamdan, Sheikh Mohammed bin Khalifa, and his records from the few that there have been up here just adds confidence to the conviction that it's a very important move for France and for Europe to have this top-class horse able to stand here.
2,200,000. I got 2.
Commercially, Redoute's Choice is also a very good proposition. 658 of his yearlings are sold in Australia, have averaged almost 400,000 euro. And the last yearling topped the sales at Sydney for $2.6 million. So it's a fairly sure proposition for commercial breeders.
Redoute's Choice, everybody knows he's one of the world's top stallions. So the access to French breeders and also to everybody in Europe of a horse of the stature of Redoute's Choice, there's no other way to say it. It's huge.
He is, of course, the best son of Danehill, and Danehill has now left a very important legacy in Europe, and we all know that Danehill bloods mixed very well with European bloodlines. So this horse, as his best son, is a rightful horse to be available to the best breeders in Europe.
Absolutely 100% of the people that I deal with who have mares good enough to go to that horse will be breeding to him. They will be breeding to Redoute's Choice, definitely.